Something just happened that changes everything. Donald Trump, now president again, is demanding $230 million from the very government he commands. He says it's compensation for the investigations that wronged him. But what he's really demanding is proof that power itself can be bought, bent, and renamed justice. In the soft gold light of the Oval Office, Trump stands behind the resolute desk, the one carved from a ship once meant to explore the Arctic, now used to navigate something far colder, corruption dressed as normalcy. Around him stand faces that used to defend him and now enforce him. Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche, Kash Patel, once lawyers for the accused, now guardians of the throne. The air hums with irony as Trump jokes, "I'm sort of suing myself." They laugh, a laughter that sounds less like joy and more like surrender. On that desk lies the paperwork, 2 formal claims against the Department of Justice. One filed in 2023 for the Russia investigation, another in 2024 for the FBI's Mar-a-Lago search. Both accuse the government of malicious prosecution. Both seek damages for harassment. Together, they total $230 million, taxpayer money, meant to restore not his dignity but his dominance. The legal mechanism is dull, bureaucratic, unassuming. Standard Form 95. Usually it's for citizens, people whose property got damaged, whose rights were trampled. But now it's the president using it against the country he leads. A man turning the machinery of accountability into a mirror. He calls it justice. The rest of us might call it something else. The moral question is this: what happens when a man becomes both plaintiff and president, when he decides his own innocence and signs his own settlement? How does a nation survive when justice becomes self-referential, when the accused becomes the arbiter, and the line between public duty and personal gain dissolves completely? Because the people who must decide whether to pay Trump this money are not independent. They are his own former defense lawyers, the same men who once stood beside him in court. Todd Blanche, now Deputy Attorney General, Stanley Woodward Jr., head of the DOJ's Civil Division. Their signatures alone could transfer millions from the Treasury to the man who still calls them my attorneys. As one ethics scholar put it, you don't need a law degree to see the conflict, you just need eyes. But eyes, it seems, are closing. In July, Attorney General Pam Bondi quietly fired the department's top ethics advisor. No announcement, no reason, just silence, the kind that fills a vacuum when integrity has left the room. The DOJ insists that all officials follow ethics guidance. But whose ethics? Whose guidance? When every moral compass now points to Mar-a-Lago. Trump's claim is not a legal act, it's a moral declaration. It says, I was the victim, I am owed. It's the next chapter in his story of eternal grievance, where accountability is persecution and vengeance is redemption. He calls it payback for the so-called weaponization of justice. But it's not retribution. It's rehearsal for a government that serves not a people, but a man. No president has ever done this. None. There is no precedent for a head of state suing his own Department of Justice for personal gain. No page in American history where a leader used the system to compensate himself for being held to account. But precedent is fragile. It doesn't break with shouts, it fades with shrugs. And so this demand could quietly pass, approved in the bureaucratic dark, unannounced, unnoticed. A transaction so quiet you might miss the sound of democracy coughing blood. This is how it begins. Not with coups, but with claims. Not with tanks, but with forms. Not with violence, but with validation. Corruption doesn't always come in jackboots. Sometimes it comes in letterhead. And when the public stops watching, that's when history stops warning. Trump says he'll donate the money to charity, but the truth is simpler and colder. It's not about the money. It's about control. About proving that justice can be inverted, ethics rewritten, accountability made optional. He's testing how far we'll let him go. Not legally, but morally. So here's the question this moment demands of us. If truth no longer matters, what does? If the presidency can sue the nation it governs, who's left to defend the idea of justice at all? If you believe that public office should never become private profit, share this. If you believe truth still matters, speak it. Because this isn't left or right anymore. It's right or wrong. And the moment we stop defending that line is the moment we lose it. Justice matters, democracy on trial, Trump 230 million, truth over power, defend the line.